Hello there, welcome to Greenhouse Build episode number 4. Today we're going to start putting the siding and some other miscellaneous things on the greenhouse in this episode. Now you may be sitting there thinking the same thing my wife said to me, and that was, well, that should be easy. It's all windows, so it should be pretty quick putting that siding on. And I got to thinking of it. There's going to be hundreds of cuts. So in between each of those windows, I've got to run siding all the way up between there. So it's not going to take a huge quantity of siding, but it is going to be an awful lot of cuts. But I look forward to doing it. That's going to transition this into a finished product that much sooner. And I think it'll make it look even better, even though it looks really good with the free windows in there, don't you think? But anyway, hang tight. We're going to get started. I picked some shiplap boarding, and we painted it the same color my wife and daughter picked for the greenhouse, that bluish, grayish, purple color. But let's get started with the siding. So I'm standing here in the greenhouse to answer one of the questions, and that is, what are we using for siding? And the answer lies here on the ground. So we're going with pine shiplap boards. And I've got them in here to dry and to stay dry. So these ones are painted on one side. I'm back here again tonight to paint them again. I woefully underestimated the quantity I would need. Although we did get started, I probably only had half enough. You can see it back there on the bottom. I'll go around outside and show you how it looks on the exterior. Here we are on the back side of the greenhouse where I've got the siding complete. Decided I would practice on the back and get good at it before I moved around to the front. I think it turned out pretty good. I do like the shiplap look with, what do they call that, nickel spacing in between. And it's all wood. Do have a couple spots I need to touch up the paint. But otherwise, yeah, that's what it's going to look like. Still got some trim to put on in the corners and that kind of thing, but only had about a third of what I need for the entire structure bought. So I went back to Lowe's and bought some more. Probably still won't be enough, but it'll get me through another weekend. Well, it's time for an update. I've got the far side done, the back side done, the near side done. Haven't started the front where the main door is. I only have one piece of siding left. So I'm going to have to do another Lowe's run, get some more siding. But before I do that, a shout out to Susan and Alan, who stopped by the TNT Ranch to check out the greenhouse build in person. So thank you very much for that. That was a most welcome distraction. So off to Lowe's, and then we'll wrap up the siding. Now the corners don't look too bad. You get up close. See, I matched them up fairly well. But I want to dress it up a little bit more, so I got some PVC corner molding. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and put on now. Let's see if I like it. I must say, those corners turned out pretty sweet. I am very happy with that PVC molding. It worked out quite well. Thought I'd work on building some corbels. Now these are the brackets that will be holding up, I guess, the overhang or the porch portion, and will allow me to get rid of those temporary supports. But that's my project this morning while I'm waiting for paint to dry. So here's a look at those corbels. I'm all ready for paint. So next time you see them, hopefully they'll be on the greenhouse. What an epic and fun build this greenhouse has been. So this is episode number 4 already. I know it seems like hasn't been that long since I started. It has been months and a tremendous amount of effort. But in this episode, we were working on siding and trim, and you can see a couple custom corbels I built there. And it's pretty much wrapped up. I got to come back and do some silicone around the windows that I fabricated out of the Tuftex. But other than that, it's pretty much done. And I'm going to give you a little walk around, show you the build. Then I'm going to break down what I spent in this episode, what I've spent to date, and maybe what's coming up in the future. But stick around to the very end because I got one final special touch that I need to do to wrap up this episode. So hang in there. We're going to do our walk around now. So why not start here at the front? Still a little morning dew on the greenhouse. But you can see here the custom windows we made, the good deal windows and doors that we got on Facebook Marketplace, all trimmed out. In the center there is a vent window at the top of the apex, and I put in a thermostat controlled vent mechanism. If you haven't checked out that video, be sure to do so. It's posted. On this side, if you recall, we got the 2 double bay windows and the single window in between. At the back of the building, you can see where we've got the 3 single windows installed, a couple custom windows, stub up for future rainwater collection system, and a very special install that I did yesterday is this solar panel powered thermostat controlled fan. Now it's a 30-watt solar powered fan for ventilation. It works a treat. It's just not warm enough yet for it to start spinning. But I expect it to start doing so here in a couple hours. If you haven't checked out that video, be sure to check it out. If it's not posted yet, it will be very shortly. And here we are on the final side, where we had the 3 singles, 1 double bay window. You should be able to see the solar panel up there, just starting to get its first rays of light. And then back to the front again, where you can see the corbel on the overhang, where we intend to sit out and enjoy the nice evenings here at the TNT Ranch. So hang tight. We're going to get into our cost summary for this episode and the project to date. And again, a reminder, stick around to the very end for that special touch to wrap up this episode. It is now that time where we add up how much money we spent in this episode and how much we've spent to date building this greenhouse. So to recap, back in episode number 1, which was the foundations episode, we spent $1,275. In episode number 2, where we completed the framing, we spent an additional $1,215. In episode number 3, where we did the Tuftex roofing and installed the windows and the doors, $1,670. Now for this episode, for the Shiplap Siding, $625. For the PVC trim I used on the corners, cost $100. Another gallon of paint for $75. Nails for the nail gun, $20. The corbels I built out of scrap leftover wood, and that was a fun little project. I think they turned out quite well, but they were free. The auto vent hinge at the front of the building, $35. And the solar exhaust fan, $350, but I think that's money well spent, and that's going to pay for itself over the long term. So how much did we spend in total in episode number 4? $1,205, bringing our grand total for a greenhouse build to $5,365. Now we still got work to do on the inside, but for the structure itself, that is our total cost. Let's get back to that special final touch and wrap up the video. So you may be asking, what is that special touch? Well, if you recall, there in the middle where there is no window, just siding, is where I'm going to put a very special sign that my daughter made specifically for this greenhouse. So let's go ahead and get that installed now. And so There is our very special final touch, Gladstone's greenhouse, established 2022. And my daughter made that on oak with a wood burning kit, and I think she did a spectacular job. So do you agree? Is that a very special touch or what? So thank you, Madison, for the wonderful sign. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss videos like the thermal powered vent hinge, the solar powered ventilation fan. Who knows what we're going to come up with for a water harvesting system. We still got the interior to build out and get some plants planted. Maybe this fall, I don't know, but more than likely in the spring. But you're not going to want to miss any of the episodes here on TNT. So again, my humble thanks, and until the next episode, bye-bye.